Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Technically Speaking 2016. We didn't think there would be a 2016, but there's a 2016. And welcome to Jones Day. My name is Jennifer Stapleton. I am a private equity attorney here at Jones Day. I'd like to start today by giving a special welcome to our clients who are in the audience here today, as well as the host of local leaders in the areas of science and technology, economic growth and development, and public policy and public service, who have all taken time out of their busy schedules to join us here today. And we are thrilled by this year's turnout, which is almost double what it was last year. So thank you so much for all of your support today. Last year, I opened this conference with a statement that we, the conference organizers, conceived Technically Speaking based on the belief that the city was on the verge, and that fully realizing Cleveland's potential as a center of expertise and innovation would require collaboration and coordination at all levels of our community, in both the public and private sectors. A year later, we know that Cleveland is a city on the verge. As the leaders of our local tech industry, our public institutions, and our school communities, you all likely know what has become the comfortable words of Cleveland's civic progress, that Cleveland is becoming younger and more highly educated, and doing so faster than most counterpart cities. Downtown Cleveland's population now exceeds 13,000 people. Downtown occupancy rates are up, cranes dot the skyline, and just outside downtown, vibrant urban communities are springing up and transforming neighborhoods. This year alone, 63% of downtown Cleveland occupants are ages 18 to 34. And this year, the city ranks 8th in the nation in the growth of college-educated millennial residents ages 25 to 34, and puts us in a three-way tie with Miami and Seattle. No small feat. You know that the economic potential of Cleveland's legacy mix of meds and eds continues to be realized, as the Cleveland Clinic's successful commercialization of healthcare expertise and data and the recent local investments by IBM can attest. In fact, just this weekend, we learned that BrightEdge, a Silicon Valley-based software company, plans to continue to expand its operations in the city by taking on more space in Tower City. We know that, as Mark Kwame noted last year at Technically Speaking, the rise in 9-figure exits of locally based tech companies like Explories, TOA, and Symbionics is a key benchmark in Cleveland's growing success. And this is a fact that we should be widely celebrating and marketing outside of our region. Not to mention the increase in substantial investments from VC and private equity firms in local companies like Cover My Meds, ViewRay, and OnShift, which just this week picked up another $18 million in Series D financing. Successes like these are not only tremendous in their own right, but they provide us with the ability to complete the circle by reseeding our startup community with a growing pool of new capital. We are honored to have some of these leading entrepreneurs here with us today. We know that even at a most grassroots level, we still see signs of progress and innovation. Through the auspices of the Cleveland Plan, we have seen a shift of autonomy from district levels to schools themselves, allowing principals and teachers to shape budgeting, programming, and curriculum to the specific needs of the children they serve directly. Cleveland families now have broader choice of new, innovative, high-quality schools, including the Cleveland School of Science and Medicine, the Cleveland School of Architecture and Design, Cleveland Early College, MC² STEM, and Campus International. Each of these schools is a testament to the power of collaboration between the public educators and the community partners that serve them. Public school enrollment is up, high school graduation rates are up, and the Cleveland Public Schools made broad gains last year in the nation's report card results. We are honored to have representatives from CMSD with us here today. In addition, this year, Breakthrough School's E-Prep Woodland Hills Middle School and the Union Miles neighborhood in Cleveland ranked first among all charter schools in Ohio and in the top 1% of all public schools in Ohio in year-over-year student progress, a remarkable achievement. Next year, we will see the opening by Breakthrough of another preps on the west side, as well as the opening of yet another innovative new public charter school option in Cleveland's Jefferson neighborhood. When it opens, Global Ambassadors Language Academy will be the first Mandarin immersion school in the state of Ohio. We are fortunate to also have representatives from both Breakthrough and Gala here with us today. All of this is more than cause for optimism. This is cause for a sense of restless expectation and possibility that we, all of us in this room, can help transform Cleveland from a city on the verge to a city that has arrived and is leading the way. Even among the educated millennial cohort that we all proudly proclaim as the rising talent in Cleveland, This is a moment of restlessness for them as well. A recent study indicates that while nearly 70% of native-born millennials believe they will definitely or probably be living in Cleveland 10 years from now, only 43% of the non-native millennial population feels the same way. They, like many other Clevelanders, are waiting to see what's next. Today's conference is about what's next and how to make what's next sustainable over the long term for the city of Cleveland. Our collective task of realizing Cleveland's promise requires a sense of urgency, and we should absolutely champion the individual innovator or the small group of innovators who are blazing their own path and creating value from new ideas. These are talented people who are in a hurry, and we should remove the barriers that stand in their way. But at the same time, building a vibrant, leading regional economy that generates broader prosperity and fosters civic engagement across a multitude of communities and stakeholders in Cleveland, and in which people feel a genuine sense of ownership and efficacy, is a painstaking work that requires thousands of human hands, 300 of which are in this room here today. Technology and data in particular play an essential and exciting role in facilitating all of this work in a multitude of ways. Now more than ever, technological devices like smartphones have leveled the playing field in terms of access to technological benefits, data, and information across communities. Imagine if the power of something like open data allowed us to do the same for our global economic competitiveness, something we'll talk about later today. And on a final note, as one of those non-native Clevelanders who decided to stay for more than 10 years, I'm proud to live in a community that is always willing to pitch in and come to the aid of anyone's call for help, as evidenced by all of you here in this room today. So I, again, welcome. We hope you have a great time at our conference today. And now I'd like to introduce my esteemed colleague, partner in our private equity practice group, John Sada, for a few words.
Thank you, Jennifer. This is remarkable. I don't think I've seen this many guests in this room. Thank you for coming. It's a little intimidating up here with so many of you. I'm delighted, as Jen said, to welcome everybody here for TechniCLE Cleveland 2016 Fostering Innovation. We are extremely honored to have with us today both Mayor Jackson and County Executive Aman Budish. We are equally honored to have Yashu Franklin Hodge, the Chief Information Officer for the City of Boston, from our Boston office later today. Thank you as well to all of the state, county, and city officials who are lending their support to this effort. We are privileged to count on the participation of so many engaged Clevelanders who care about the tech sector, care about our city, and believe in Cleveland as a center of innovation. A special welcome to all of those of you that are not from Cleveland that are here taking time today so that we can learn from your experiences. Today, through TechniCLE Speaking, Jones Day is proud to help facilitate more dialogue surrounding how best to develop and grow technology companies in Northeast Ohio. We hope today's discussion will sharpen our collective efforts, understanding as to barriers and entry to growth, and that in coming together, connections are made that will help good ideas get the support and resources that are necessary for entrepreneurs to build successful companies and for Cleveland to be a better place in which to live, work, play, and learn. Today, more than at any time in the past, by dint of market forces and also by virtue of the hard work, foresight, and generosity of its talented and driven people, Cleveland is in a position of strategic advantage. In order to capitalize on the opportunities in the tech, and particularly the health tech sectors, we have to offer our community must continue to push the bounds of traditional collaboration amongst public entities, academic institutions, and private enterprises and not-for-profit organizations. Cleveland is not without its challenges, but there is no challenge or set of challenges that we cannot overcome together. Jones Day is honored to be a place where talented people meet, connections are made, and discussions of import like today's conference happen. I'm very excited for this afternoon's panels. I again want to specifically thank Jennifer Stapleton for her leadership within Jones Day on this event. I also want to thank Joe Simperman, the new president of Global Cleveland, for his continued support and vision. and my former Jones Day colleague, George Asimo. Jennifer, Joe, and George have been the driving forces behind this event for the last 2 years. Thank you. I also want to thank, of course, all of the speakers here today and all of you in attendance for your participation in this dialogue and your continued support for this great city and its tech industry. At this time, I'd like to welcome to the podium 2 of our public officials who are lending their support to this efforts today. County Executive Amon Budish and Mayor Frank Jackson. Mayor Jackson will start. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. Those who said good afternoon, thank you very much. I want to also welcome everyone to the event and thanks Jones Day and everyone else who participated in making this successful. I remember coming to the one last year, and I'm imagining since this one is so successful that it will continue. And that's good because it really helped us to stay focused on some things. You know, whenever we make decisions in the city of Cleveland, you know, at my level, we do that with one thing in mind, and that is how do we position Cleveland for the future? How do we, it doesn't matter if it's a decision around education, around economic development, around green space, policies that help to enhance the number of people who live downtown. All these kinds of things is all about positioning Cleveland for the future and doing all these things not as individual projects, but doing it in the context of that. And that's the way we look at technology and those who are involved in technology, either in the use of it or in the manufacturing of it or whatever the proper term is. As you can see, I don't know, or the business related to it. And so that is the way we look at this. Now, if you want to know the details of how we will help you, that's a better conversation with my economic development director. But I just want you to know, as a policy, as a direction to them throughout the city, it's all about the future and positioning us for the future. And again, technology is key to that. And we want to make sure that when we do things, we do it in a way that allows for you to be successful, because your success is about where we want to position ourselves in the future. Now, there's always collateral benefits to things, and one of the collateral benefits of the Republican National Convention being here is that AT&T is investing a huge amount of money into technology infrastructure, because you can imagine 50,000 people being downtown Cleveland, and they have to 15,000 of them being credentialed media from around the world, needing to access whatever they need to access immediately. People who are doing business, delegates who are trying to talk to each other. So you can see there's a need to develop capacity for all of that, which I don't understand, but I know that you do. And so they are going to and currently are investing a huge amount of money into the infrastructure so that there will be capacity for all that to happen. Now, they're going to leave that behind. They're not just going to pick it up and walk away with it once the convention is over with. And that is one of the things that will be a benefit to us post the convention that will, in my opinion, allow for you to be able to market Cleveland as really a beneficial place to be, or to open up a business, or to take some initiative, because we will have that capacity in order to be able to absorb whatever it is that you do. So again, a welcome, and I do apologize. I won't be able to stay beyond first panel, but I did want to come here and say welcome and thank you for what you do.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
It's great to see so many of you here. You are really the future of our region, and I'm so excited to see this gathering. As county government, we're looking to, in every way we can, foster a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship, and to do it on an entire continuum from the very start until the business is successful. So starting at the beginning, we started this year a new innovation center agreement relationship with the county library system. The county library at Garfield Heights opened their first innovation center with the county, where people can go for free and get on computers, 3D printers, laser cutters, some kind of embroidery thing through the computer, and really take a business idea and start to play with it, plan for it, get help from mentors that the library is working with, and get an idea into an operational plan. It's like the first step, where from there they can go to a place like ThinkBox, which I had the pleasure of going to a couple weeks ago, and see that they have more equipment and more helpers that can help guide people through. And then they can go to a place like Flash Starts or BioEnterprise or Magnet or any one of the number of great incubators that we have here in town. One of the gaps we've had in this continuum, I became familiar with back when I was the Speaker of the House, seems like ages ago, where we were advised about the difficulty in getting capital, especially in the Midwest compared to the coasts. And so the state of Ohio and I led the effort to renew and expand a program called the Third Frontier, which has been a key to bringing dollars to startups and early stage companies in particularly in Northeast Ohio, because all of you are here doing such good work here. So we were able to start bringing some money back through that. We also took the opportunity to expand what was then called the Ohio Venture Capital Authority, and that too brought money to Northeast Ohio. Fast forward to last year, I became the county executive, and again looked at if there was a way that we could be helpful in bringing more funds to Northeast Ohio to help startups and early stage companies. So we decided we could do $4.5 million. We partnered with Jumpstart, and the deal was that we would use our funds to leverage additional fundraising, and with that money they have leveraged into, I believe, 3 different funds totaling $30 million, which will hopefully be a good start and a good effort here in Northeast Ohio. Again, it's not all the issue, but at least it's a step in the right direction. We made another big investment in the county several years ago in entrepreneurship and innovation, and it's called the Global Center for Health Innovation. That investment, I believe, can become truly a global center for health innovation, which is very exciting. We're seeing what can happen. We're seeing a company like Siemens come to town and bring 24 high-paying jobs. We're seeing HIMSS, the Health Information Management Association, bring the Connect-a-thon to Cleveland, where 500 engineers come together for a week to make their competing equipment talk to one another. It's exciting to see what we're doing here in Northeast Ohio. I believe that we're doing so well here because innovation is in our DNA. Going back to the Industrial Revolution, this was Silicon Valley. This was where there were more patents coming out of Northeast Ohio than any place else. It's in our DNA, it's in you, and I believe that you will be our future. We will be able to move forward and become the technology center of the United States. I appreciate all you're doing. Thank you very much.